If you have to roll a 2+ to charge, don't roll a 1.
Welcome to how to do the reinforcement phase correctly. Before round 1, what you need to do is assign a character to an eligible regiment. So this Conquest is an infantry stand. He's going to join his infantry bow chosen. This shaman is an infantry stand. This shaman is going to join the infantry raiders. And this blooded is an infantry stand. He will join the infantry trolls. Now, if I wanted to, during list creation, I could give this blooded the Curse of the Vigar upgrade, which allows him to join brute regiments. And if he did so take that, I would put him with the Ogres. But for now, we'll have him join the troll. The class of the character does not matter for joining a regiment. So this medium blooded is joining the medium trolls, that's fine. This medium Conquest is joining these light bow chosen, that's fine. And this light shaman is joining this light raider regiment, and that's perfectly fine. You could also have a heavy character join a light regiment if you like. And the class of the character does not change the class of the regiment. So for all rules purposes, this is a light regiment, even though there is a medium stand. And when rules call for individual stands, so round 1, only lights can enter the battlefield. And before each reinforcement step, you need to separate your army into their 3 class groups. Here are the lights, here are the mediums, here are the heavies. And on round 1, only lights can enter the board, and lights can enter the board on a 4 or less. Before I do any rolling, I may choose one regiment that's eligible to enter the battlefield this round to either enter automatic or hold them back at least 1 round. I will choose to hold back the bow chosen. The stalkers have the rule flank, and if you have the rule flank with a regiment, that regiment may either come on automatically or be held back at least 1 round. And I'm going to hold the stalkers back 1 round, which then simply leaves 1 raider regiment to come in. I need to roll a 4 or less, and I rolled a 2. So the raider regiment is now moving onto the battlefield. On round 2, light regiments will enter the battlefield on a, if I can find it, a 4 or less, and mediums will enter the battlefield on a 2 or less. Step 1, separate the regiments by their class. Step 2, pick an eligible regiment to come in automatically or hold back. Now, this is a may. You don't have to pick any regiment to come in automatically or hold back. You can just use that regiment to add to the dice pool. That's a possibility. In this example, I'm going to hold back this troll regiment with the blooded character. Now, do any of my regiments have flank? Yes. The stalkers have flank and the Fenrir have flank. I'm going to hold them both back, which leaves me with 1 light regiment to roll and 1 medium regiment to roll. So the light regiment comes in on a 4 or less, and the heavy regiment comes in on a 2 or less. Okay, so I rolled a 2 for the light and a 5 for the heavy. So the bow chosen with the Conquest are now entering the battle. Wow! I am now moving on to round 3. On round 3, all lights must enter automatically. Even if they have flank, you cannot hold them back. So all lights are coming in. Mediums are coming in on a 4 or less, and heavies are coming in on a 2 or less. Once again, separate the regiments by class. Then pick 1 regiment, if you want, to either enter automatically or hold back at least 1 round. I'm going to take this Ice Jotnar and hold them back 1 round. Now, do I have any regiments with flank? The Fenrir have flank. The Fenrir I'm going to hold back once again. Okay? So any lights now must join automatically. They don't contribute any dice to the rolls. So the stalkers go off to fight the enemy, and I must roll for these 2 medium regiments and these 2 heavy regiments. So this is for the 2 medium regiments. Okay, I need a 4 or less, and they both came in. And this is for the 2 heavy regiments. I need a 2 or less. All right, just 1 came in and 1 stayed. That means that the Ogre regiment is now entering the battlefield. The Troll regiment are now joining their Ogre brethren. in the Great Nord Glory, and this Mountain Jotnar is going to enter as well. I now move on to round 4. Mediums must come in automatically, and heavies can come in on a 4 or less. I separate the regiments by class. Then I may pick a regiment to either come in automatically or hold back a round. Once again, I'm going to take this Ice Jotnar and hold them back 1 round. I then have the Mountain Jotnar, which is a heavy, to roll for, and the Fenrir have to enter the battle automatically on this round. So I'm going to roll for the Mountain Jotnar. I need a 4 or less. I rolled a 5, which will leave the Fenrir to enter the game on this round. I am now on round 5. All heavies must enter the battlefield automatically. You can't hold them back or anything. So, quite simply, they go off and join the battle with their buddies. Here is a quick recap. On round 1, lights come in on a 4 or less. On round 2, lights come in on a 4 or less, and mediums come in on a 2 or less. On round 3, lights come in automatically, mediums come in on a 4 or less, and heavies come in on a 2 or less. Round 4, mediums come in automatically, and heavies come in on a 4 or less. And on round 5, heavies come in automatically. Here is how to arrive from reinforcement. My Fenrir are lined up against the edge of the battlefield, and the first action that this regiment must take once you draw their card and activate them is the march action. What I like to do is I take the card of the regiment that just activated, put it on the battlefield. Sorry for the glare, it is what it is. Mark the 7 inches where the Fenrir can enter in, and basically march them straight in. Like that. Real simple. And then my Fenrir may take a second action. Another thing you can do with your march action is to wheel. Remember, when you come from reinforcement, you're not forced to march forward. That's not an action. You're just taking a march action. And a march action gives you a few possibilities. In this instance, it's either forward or wheeling forward. So I'm going to wheel into the battlefield. Let's say the 7 inches is roughly around here. Okay. Without moving this corner, I'm going to take this left side of the regiment and wheel it, get it on top of the battlefield, of course, and then wheel it here, and then march forward. That's 7 inches. Now, in this example, the regiment has cleared the edge of the battlefield. But let's say I had this Rager, I had this Raider regiment. I draw the Raider regiment's card, and I want to wheel. I'm going to measure about 5 inches here, and I'm going to wheel the 5 inches. Move forward slightly, but my Raider is still off of the battlefield for its first action. So my second action must be a march action to get the Raider regiment onto the battlefield. So I can either just measure 5 inches and then move them up 5 inches, or if I want, measure 5 inches roughly over here, okay, and then do another wheel for 5 inches. Keep in mind that you cannot charge the round a regiment comes in from reinforcement unless you have the Bloodlust rule. And that is simply how the reinforcement roll and arriving from the reinforcement works. Now, if for whatever reason a regiment marches onto the battlefield for its first action and then marches on with its second action, and you can't make it onto the battlefield completely, the regiment is put back in reinforcement and must come onto the battlefield next round. And when that regiment comes onto the battlefield next round, that does not take up that may option that you have. Say that on round 1, my Bow Chosen come on the board, but my Raiders do not. For whatever reason, if my Bow Chosen cannot enter the battlefield, they get kicked back into reinforcement. So in round 2, no matter what the reinforcement rules are, in addition to them, the Bow Chosen are going to come on automatically. So then I will pick my Raiders to come in either automatically or be held in reserve, roll for my other regiments, and then when I draw the Bow Chosen's card, they're going to attempt to march on to the battlefield. And that's simply the reinforcement rules. If you found this video entertaining and or educational, please sub to my YouTube channel and throw a like on this video. Also, hop over to my Patreon, link in the description, and toss me a few bucks. And remember, when you need a 2+ to charge, do it with Bloodlust from your reinforcement line, and don't roll a 1. Peace.